Hi, everyone, and welcome to this edition of The Job Chicks. I am so excited about our guest today. She is a longtime friend of mine, an amazing entrepreneur, and she is a dynamic and successful entrepreneur celebrated for her exceptional achievements in the direct selling and network marketing industry. She has a fierce passion for empowering others, and she has built a multi-million-dollar sales organization, and it's under the umbrella Sparkle Queens, and that is with Touchstone Crystal, and it's a Swarovski company. Her relentless drive and dedication have not only led to almost $13 million in sales to date, but she continues to propel her team towards even greater success. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you the badass Renee Carbone Fleming, and what I fondly
Thank-
call her as the Sparkle Queen. So,
Oh,
welcome,
thank you
Renee.
so much. Thank you. I'm so honored and appreciate you having me on.
Oh, I am so excited about this today. In honor of you, I wore my sparkly
I
headband.
love it. I love it.
Even my husband calls you the Sparkle Queen.
Oh my
I said,
gosh.
"Oh, we're having Renee on the podcast today." And he said, "Is that Sparkle Queen?"
Oh, yay. That's, you know what? It's all about personal branding. So thank you
It
for the
is.
validity. It works. Yeah.
It is. Well, we're so excited to have you. And I know that we've had similar journeys
Yes.
after, getting divorced and being single moms and creating something for ourselves. And we know each other through pageantry.
Hmm.
And I can let you tell that story on how we know each other. We've known each other probably 15. We're trying to figure it out.
Right.
Maybe 15, maybe 20 years. I don't know, but it's been a while. So tell us a little bit about you. You can tell us about how you got started into this journey of multi-level marketing and why you still love it.
Yes, for sure. Well, I love it. Thank you very much. And I love this industry. And this industry has a lot of negative connotations oftentimes. And people don't necessarily look for network marketing or direct sales as an opportunity to earn an extra stream of income. But I love to like smash those, negative thoughts about the industry because there's a lot of great that comes out of it. And I feel I'm an example of that. I started in the industry through a divorce and I was a stay at home mom. Prior to that, I was a director of a semi national distributor. I had a great career. I did all of that, was traveled. It was wonderful, worked full time. But then when my kids were little, I wanted to be home with them and I didn't want the stress of being told that I have to go fly to Texas. So I wanted the ability to be with them, be their mom, but then quickly realized like I'm not the decoupage kind of mom. So I volunteered for everything that I possibly could for my kids' schools so that I can pretty much justify my existence and still utilize some of my skills and talents to help the community or help the school. And then I got divorced. And after a 17-year marriage, you don't really expect that to happen. Um, I was like, what do I do? And my youngest daughter was a competitive dancer. My oldest was AAU basketball, premier soccer. I was living, I can't say living in the car, but you know what I mean? All the extracurricular activities, and I'm shuffling them everywhere. And I was helping my daughter's school put together an event. And I saw that Touchstone Crystal, I saw that Swarovski had an entrepreneurial division. And that I went, I love Swarovski. I mean, we use Swarovski in the costumes, with everything Swarovski. It's been around forever. So that intrigued me. And when I saw the jewelry, I was like, oh, I think I want this. Not thinking I could sell a bracelet, let alone build a business. But fast forward, like you said, I've built a multi-million-dollar sales organization. We've surpassed $13 million in sales in 11 years. I love it. I've helped women promote leadership, senior directors. I've 20 something trips I've earned. It's been phenomenal. And when I was building it, a lot of people thought I couldn't. And, my ex-husband thought I couldn't tie my shoes without him. So I had post-it notes I put in my office with two words. And I said, watch me. And I put those
Love it.
post-it notes all over my computer, my office. I'm a stubborn, I'm a stubborn Italian Portuguese woman. I'll just say it and I own it. But that drive, you don't think I can? Watch me.
Hmm.
And that's
I have chills.
that's
Got like
really
goosebumps.
that I and that's what I, try to empower women with. It's like, if somebody doesn't think you can, show them, prove it. Like, we have all the access to whatever training, whatever. There's so much out there. Everything is figure outable. So if somebody doesn't believe in you, believe in yourself. Watch me. So I was intent on growing it. And when I used to love, so I'm going to share how I connected with Melissa is through dance. I always had a passion and love for pageantry. And I did since I was a teenager, accidentally getting into it as a teenager. But I quickly realized that I was not the pageant contestant kind of person. I was more of a pageant supporter. And I saw Bravo.
Oh, dear
I'm
God.
sharing it. I'm sharing it, Melissa. I will confess, I love Real Housewives. Love it. Guilty pleasure. Love it. Okay.
So my listeners don't know this, by the way, so this will be new for them. So
Okay.
you
Good.
can
You
share.
mind?
You can
I'm
share.
totally sharing. Okay. So I love Real Housewives, and I was watching it, and I saw that there was a show coming on called Game of Crowns, and it was about adult pageant women. And I was like immediately intrigued. I recognized some women, and I was like, I need to watch this. This is going to be great. So started watching it, and immediately I go into, oh, they would love this jewelry. They would love Swarovski touchstone crystal. So I watched, and I saw that Melissa and her mom Elaine were the directors, and they were on the show. And I was like, I need to contact them. So here's me like research, so I contacted your mom, and when I told her what I did, and she was immediately very loving and embracing, and both of you. So that's what started our relationship in the business world. Is I sponsored their pageants, and we developed a friendship and relationship because Melissa. I mean, she's a love. Her mom's such a sweetheart, and once you get to know them, you're family immediately. So
Forever.
forever, yeah, yeah. So it's been such a blessing.
I don't think Brittany knew I was on a reality show. I don't think I ever told her that.
No.
Can we like insert some clips like right here of Melissa,
If we
please?
can find them, we will. But I try not to tell too many people that because I was not a fan of being on reality TV. If somebody asked me to do it again, I would either say no or I have to have complete creative direction
Hmm.
because it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, no, I can understand that, but it made for an interesting
Well, yeah,
show for sure. You're like,
it was
yeah,
interesting.
and like, I wouldn't want to be on a reality show, but I can certainly appreciate watching the reality show.
It was
So,
hilarious.
so yeah, that's what started that journey and relationship. So I always had this like, okay, I'm gonna watch me, like I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove it to myself. I'm gonna prove it to other people. I wanted to show my kids that no matter what happens in life, because ish is gonna happen, it's what you do with it and how you come out of it. So that grew into me, sponsoring. They really opened the door for me sponsoring and getting into the pageant world. And as I grew the Sparkle Queen's name and reputation and being a sponsor in pageants, I contacted Miss America organization.
Hmm.
I stay at home mom. Like, I'm not a big, huge business yet, but stay at home mom. I contacted Miss America. I contacted them again. I contacted them again and again and again. And I waited, and I finally met with them, and I sponsored Miss America. I was
Hmm.
the
This
official.
I think I really hope that some of our clients are listening to this, like Browning Associates clients, because that tenacity is really like the root of your tenacity with that is that you don't have a fear of rejection. And unfortunately, I think that so many people do have a fear of rejection, which prevents them from just trying. Or they try once and they're like, oh, I failed. And then that's their excuse to just like let their dream die.
Yeah.
So your tenacity is absolutely amazing. And if you don't mind, I kind of want to talk a little bit about your brand, because as a woman who is in her masculine all the time, like I'm always in my masculine business mindset, like hustle,
Yeah.
just do it. I look forward. I said this to Melissa. I have the receipts to prove it on my phone. I look forward to your posts on LinkedIn. Like your branding is so empowering because every single time I see a post of yours, you give me an essence to let me tap into my feminine.
Oh.
And that's something that's very consistent with you. And it's not like feminine, like, oh, I'm weak feminine. It's like feminine, like I'm empowered. Like I can be more fluid in the way that I show up in my career. So you give me that daily reminder, and I have to admit I do look forward to your posts that you put out.
Thank you
I
Yeah.
will say, Renee also has a podcast called Unapologetically Badass, and she is truly the epitome of femininity, but a badass. She
Oh,
truly is.
thank you
Yep.
so much. Thank you. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? It's a journey, right? I can't say that I was always that confident to show up authentically. I thought, and even in my full-time career prior to being an entrepreneur, I felt that I needed to be like those other people because those were the successful ones. And even when I became an entrepreneur, where it's more about me, I felt like I needed to fit into the box of being like this person who's really successful, or I don't want to offend anyone. Once I finally embraced the fact that I am who I am not everybody's cup of tea, and that's
Mhm.
okay. But I don't know is things get bleeped out, but I love sharing that I unapologetically inspire women, moms over 40, to look and feel like a million freaking bucks, build their $100,000 fuck it fund, and unleash their inner badass queen.
Oh
Mhm.
my gosh, I love
That's
it.
what because of the fact that it came from that divorce where I was made to feel like I couldn't and I
Mhm.
couldn't succeed. And it's just, it angers me, but it empowers me at the same time to try and help others to feel that confident in their skin. Do I feel like this all the time? Heck no. But have I learned tools and mindset and strategies? Like I've invested to learn things in order to help me get to the point where I can release other people's expectations of myself and
Mhm.
just be authentically me. My people will find me. I will find my people. And once we finally get to that point where we go, you know what? I'm not everyone's cup of tea. That's okay.
Mhm.
I like coffee. It's good.
Hmm. I do find that, well, so I'm not in your generation, but I'm an
Thanks.
onlooker to
Thanks for the reminder, Brittany.
Right?
I'm
I'm
an
reminded
on
every day, Renee, every day.
I'm an onlooker to that generation. So as like an observer, I feel like there are not many empowered women in your generation. And what I find is like the people who are not empowered, they spend time, I'm just going to say it, guys, I'm just going to be transparent. They spend time sort of poking fun at empowered women in your
Mhm.
generation.
Yeah.
And it's so clear to me that they do that because something inside of them wishes so bad that they could find the liberation that you guys have had. And it's just like, listen, this isn't a competition. I love the quote. It's like the people at the top aren't competing, they're collaborating. It's
Absolutely.
really
Mhm.
the people at the bottom that are competing with one another. And it's like that's like an unlocking mentality that if you realize it's all about collaboration, you can get there too.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think our generation was really the first generation of women. I know, the boomers, there are a lot of women who did go to college and, there are some who are out there, but our generation was really the first one that it was acceptable for women to really be out there and be badass business women.
Yep.
And now it's just the norm,
Yes.
So as a Gen Xer, we kind of paved that way.
You
I
did.
feel
Yes.
that we made it acceptable. Like that's just going to happen. Like we're going to be out there in the workforce. We're going to be competing with men and we're going to be making as much money. And I'm sure you feel that too, Renee, that it was really us who kind of, made it more normal
Yeah.
for us to be just very successful women.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And hopefully each generation, we learned from previous generations and
Yes.
they've paved the way. And so hopefully the younger generation, Brittany, they're seeing, you know what? I don't have to be this alpha person at 24 hours a day. I can embrace who I am, be
Yes.
more authentically myself because we bring a lot to the table. And as women, we are so multifaceted that we are a strong, dominant force. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
when we collaborate like this, we collaborate in business, magic freaking happens
Yes.
Mhm.
for sure.
It
Now,
does. Yeah, your generation definitely did that. And I feel like people in my generation, I look at them and I have zero sympathy. Like, if you're not performing at your optimal, authentic self, like, I have no
mhm.
sympathy for you because you guys did pave the way. So now there's no excuse. And the generation after me, there's absolutely no excuse. I'm hoping to see some really powerful action coming from the generation after me.
Yes,
Mm,
absolutely. And you know what? Another that frustrates me is when you hear and see women feeling like they're stuck and like,
mhm.
I can't do that. I need to have more money, but I'm not, there is no excuse. This is 2025. There is
Mhm.
no excuse to be sitting in that space where you say you can't do.
Right.
Yes, you
And
can.
how did you make that? What kind of inspired you where you went from I'm building a business and you have this huge team and you're making these incredible strides in sales? What made you make that transition to say, hey, I can empower other women, I can coach them? So you kind of made a little bit of a switch from that, although it's still there. Now you're empowering women and you're coaching women. What was that little light bulb that went off and you're like, I can do this?
Yes. So, I've been coaching and training women building their touchstone crystal businesses since I started that. And I love that aspect. If I can help somebody earn whatever it is that their goal is, whether it's $500 extra a month to pay for groceries or it's building a multi-million-dollar business, right? Whatever that is. So I've been doing that for a while, but then coming out of the pandemic, I in my age, you kind of go like, what is my passion and what is my purpose?
Mhm.
And I know that my purpose, I love, and even when you figure out what is it that you love to do, that even if you weren't getting paid for it, you would still be excited about sharing it.
Yes.
And I know that I am excited about helping other women to build their, like I call their fuck it fund. So I was like, okay, I've always felt this like badass. So I said, you know what? I'm going to badass queens and badass queen coaching. And so then that grew into, so I invested in, more education and learning more about personal branding. And I've been talking about personal branding for years because especially in network marketing and direct sales is you are not the company you sell for. You are your own person and you represent a brand, but people do business with people, right?
Yes.
So, and that's really in all industries, right? People do business with people. They're not going to they're not going to remember what you sold or said to them, but they're going to remember you for how you made them feel.
Mhm.
So I wanted to come up with a brand that is going to embrace who we authentically are, unapologetically, right? The good, the bad, the ugly, because we are perfectly imperfect.
Mm.
So that's how I created the Badass Queen brand. And, now I have trademark pending with Badass Queen and Sparkle Queen and created,
Love it.
merchandise and doing all those things and more things coming. But I have courses. I have my Badass Brand Accelerator that I help women build their brand, whether they're just starting out or they have some experience. I've got digital trainings and I help women just really figure out what is it that they want to do and how they can monetize it in 2025 and beyond, because
Mhm.
anybody can, even grandma who wants to sell Afghans online. Like I can help
Right.
her figure out how she can do that. There's no,
You know what an Afghan is, Brittany?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes. In fact. Yes, my grandmother, actually my great grandmother, she used to make them for me. So, yep.
Okay,
I
just check.
I have fun fact. I have made a few, and for my children, for my girls, and I have one. But I'm the type of crocheter that if you look at, you have to like close one eye because it's a little crooked at the end. You know, it's not. It's again. It's just like me, perfectly
Right.
imperfect. There's nothing. No.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, the one thing I love about this, and I know I can see her wheels spinning in her head. The thing that we love about having someone like you on the podcast is because we have executives who feel like they can't do it. They're too old to reinvent their brand, or what you're doing is literally what we teach every
Yes.
single day. It's networking with people.
Yeah.
It is building rapport with people. People buy from people that they love, right? It's not so much the product, it's the people that they love. And when you're networking with people and you're looking for a new job, people are going to look at you and not what you do for a living. So they're going to recommend you because of who you are. And so I think that's the biggest message that you're bringing today is being unapologetically badass, but authentic about it.
Authentic.
And I
Thank
love
you.
that.
And it's so true. Your net worth is your network. I mean, we know this for sure, right? You don't know
Yes.
where it's going to lead. And I, again, empowering other women is my jam. That's why I created that unapologetically badass podcast, which Melissa was on, which I loved.
We had
It
fun.
was so awesome. But I wanted to create I didn't want to just do another podcast. And even though I know how to help women build businesses, I didn't want it to be just a business podcast, but I wanted it to highlight, because a common theme that I see with women over 40 is that we've all been through the highs and the lows in different aspects of our lives. And we all have learned something from
Mhm.
those valleys and the peaks. And so many times I see and hear other women rebuilding themselves, starting something new after the age of 40,
Mhm.
after the age of 50. So you are so right. It is not too late. I am 55 and I feel like I am just like buckle up. I am just getting started.
Mhm.
Because I love what I do. So when you
Mhm.
love what you do, when you find what you love what you do, I mean, you can explode any industry.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You've got some new stuff coming that you're really excited about. So
So
what do you we don't even know what it is. So tell us what it is.
this literally so it hasn't been announced yet, but I'm going to announce it with you because
Oh my
your
goodness.
podcast won't be airing until after it's announced on social,
Okay.
right?
That's okay.
But I have just been honored as the top empowerment coach of the year 2025 by the IAOTP. I am going to be at a gala in Vegas in December. Some of the previous honorees are like Judge Janine Pirro from Fox
Oh my
News.
gosh.
And you know who else is going to be honored this year? Which I was, again, a total reality TV. Not that I am, but Susan Knowles from The Golden Bachelor. She's also going to be
Really?
there being on. So I am top empowerment coach of the year. I just found out. I was like,
That's amazing, Renee. Congratulations.
thank
I
you.
love that.
I am so excited. Like that
If you
just
need
means
dates,
so much.
Brittany and I'll go with you.
It's,
I was just gonna say,
We're
number
always
one, I'm
looking for a
speechless.
gala.
Number two, can the job chicks come? Because we'd love to go. Melissa and I have some travel plans for some things this
Oh
year, so we
my
might
God.
want to throw in a
oh my
Vegas
Yeah.
God.
trip.
Won't that be awesome?
Yep.
I was so honored. I was so humbled. It was very, it's just you know, you know that book, 3 Feet from Gold? And I was sharing this with people in a training. Have you seen this book, 3 Feet from Gold?
No.
Okay. So this is a must have this is from, you know, Napoleon Hill.
Yep.
So the Napoleon Hill Foundation, this gentleman started interviewing people from Napoleon Hill Foundation. This 3 Feet from Gold, everyone should read this. What basically, there's oftentimes in our careers, whether you're an entrepreneur or you work for someone, and you just feel like I'm doing this and I'm doing this, but I'm not getting the results that I want. And oftentimes the difference between those that succeed and those that don't is that they give up too early.
Mm.
Amen.
They could be 3 feet from gold. They're
Yep.
just 3 feet away, but they drop the ball and they stop and they say that they can't or they failed. And again, that receiving that honor was that, additional level of validity going, like, even though I felt like I was three, because I'm doing, and you see me out there and I'm out there, I'm doing the best that I can. And sometimes you just feel like, is this really panning out for me? Am I
Mm-hmm.
really supposed to be on this path? And then you get those God winks, like that honor, and saying, you know what, I'm on the right path.
You have reached your next level. So just nerd out super quick. I'm a big fan of quantum physics. It's something I study. And in quantum physics, quantum mechanics, if you ask people who are currently studying that, they will tell you we do live in a simulation type
Mhm.
reality that is definitively, these scientists are saying this, definitively has a higher creator, right? Which is amazing. You could look into the God particle. I can even link some really cool things to start with below. So when I hear about you getting an award like this, you have, in this law of attraction type way, in this godly divine type way, you have paired with your next level. Like you have leveled up and entered into the new dimension, or like the new level of your next chapter, which is
Mm-hmm.
so exciting for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. One of
And
the,
I love that you talk about this because the 3 feet from gold, is that what it is? Three
yeah,
feet from
three
gold.
feet from gold.
I'm going to order it the minute
Yeah,
our podcast is
it's
over.
great.
But I think it is so relevant because we have so many clients that they're networking and nothing's happening. And then they quit and well, it didn't work for me.
Yeah,
Oh, it didn't work for me. And then I have my other clients who are, they network. And then all of a sudden, they're 4 months, 5 months in, and bam, all the stuff all the groundwork, all the foundation that they laid, all of a sudden comes back and it hits. They were 3 feet from gold and didn't know it.
they did.
And then they get multiple offers at the same time.
Yes. I
It's
love this,
wild
Renee.
that it happens.
Oh
Yeah,
Yep.
my gosh. I absolutely love this.
yeah. And one of the things that helped me is deciding what and who my future self looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared this a million times, but part of my miracle morning that I do with manifesting and praying and all of this is I have written down my future script, my life script. So where I see myself a year from now. And I recorded myself in a voice memo as if it already happened.
Mm-hmm.
So as if I'm already there. The income I'm earning, how I'm working, my travel, everything, my life, everything. I've had it all down. I listen to it every day
Mm-hmm.
as I'm having my coffee. It is just that even if I'm not feeling, again, being 3 feet from gold, but it is that reminder that reminds my brain, which goes into my heart, to then say, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that life script has been really such a exciting game changer for me because it really gets me motivated every day.
I feel like a lot of high achievers do that. We had a gentleman on our podcast, and he coaches and trains the mindset of athletes. And we talk
Mhm.
about this very thing with him as well.
Jim
And
Harshaw.
yes, and it was the same thing. You've got to record yourself
Yeah,
saying these things. This life script is so important that if you're not doing it, it's something that you should definitely start to do in
yeah,
2025 because it really is going to elevate you to the next level.
it does. And the thing is, often we know as humans, most of us don't like our voice,
Right.
but our brain does. So when
Oh, I love
we
that.
hear ourselves, it's that we're telling ourselves this is what's happening, and I'm living in that space. So when you start to see the things that are happening that's in my life script, it's like, oh, I am, like you said, I'm living in that elevated space. And by the
Mhm.
way, that's so fun. My word of 2025 is actually elevate. So I am elevating every aspect. It's coming, it's
Mm-hmm.
happening.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations. I mean, that's just an incredible achievement. And
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm so proud of you, Renee.
Thank you. Thank you. I am really so excited. I'm excited to share that, and I'll get my crystal award. and
Oh my gosh, that's
and you
amazing.
know me, I'm like, okay, Tony's like, are we going to Vegas? I'm like, yeah, am I going to turn down a red carpet gala where I'm in a gown and accepting an award. I mean, there's no way I'm turning that down at Bellagio. You're kidding?
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
That's one of my favorite parts about being human and co-creating with our, divine reality is that the law of attraction. I always think of like you and then your reality, and then there's this like infinity sign that just goes back and forth, which is why mindset is so important. And you didn't expect to get this award. This was a byproduct that your reality reflected back to you for the energy that you put out. Is that right? Did this come as a surprise? Am I correct in that?
Apparently, somebody has to nominate someone, and then unbeknownst to the person, it's the board, the panel reviews it. And then I was contacted. So yes, this is way out. So one of the things that I always pray and ask for as you bring things out to the universe and to God, but I share what I want or better. And I always use that or better because there's already a path, right? But I don't want to have that limited belief that I can only be here. He knows where I can go more than I do. So I'm always asking that as part of my putting it out there.
I am incorporating the or better.
Or better.
Me too.
I love that.
Because
Me too.
we don't know what we don't know. There's something out there that could perhaps be life-changing for us.
There was a meme on Instagram. I don't know if I sent it to you, Melissa. I can't keep track of all the memes I send you nowadays.
That's how we communicate. Sometimes we don't even talk. We just meme back and forth.
Back and forth. It's our therapy. But there was this beautiful image, and it said your plan, and it was a single rose. And then next to it said God's plan, and it was a vase of roses and all these other wild flowers. And I was like, that's an image I could wake up to every day.
That is a perfect way of encapsulating it into an image. Yeah.
Yeah. When and I talk about this a lot. And when I was going through chemo and everything, one of the things I used to say every single day was every day my life gets better and better. Every day my health gets better and better. And I need to start saying that again because I feel like that better and better and even more is the thing that I might probably have lost over the last couple of years. You have that expectation when you're manifesting and think about things that you want and things just happen. I mean, I've manifested things that I never thought I would ever have, but I forget to incorporate that and better or even more.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Oh,
love it. Love it.
Good. Well, oftentimes we get into a place of complacency because we're happy where we are, right? So it's like we don't even think about asking for more because we're in a great space. Right. But we can always be better. We can always improve as humans. So why not ask for it? But it all starts with gratitude. So I have to admit that I start my day with gratitude. So that is.
I'll make you laugh because I talk, and people think I'm crazy anyway. I said some outrageous things on this show, but I moved into this house, and I mean, it's not, it's a very beautiful house. I love my house. But it's not, this mansion, but I still love my house. And I walk around and I still do this to this day. And I talk to my house and I tell my house how much I love it and how much I appreciate. I'm so grateful that I have this roof over my head and you make me feel safe and I love you. And the more that I do that, the more my house really becomes my home, truly. Like I love this house. And I even said to my kids over Christmas when they were here, if something, God forbid, something ever happened to me or both of us at the same time, my husband and I, the one thing I would want is for you to keep this house because this house is me. Yeah. This is me. And I'm like, it'll be taken care of, you just have to maintain it. But I do that because I feel like when you're grateful for your house or you're grateful for anything in your life, that gratefulness brings you, like you said, even more.
Yeah, for sure. I love that.
Yeah. I just, the stuff that you're doing. Oh, I'll tell you, I thought of you when we went to Austria. We were in Austria and all of a sudden I saw this flagship Swarovski store and I went, oh my God, it's Sparkle Queen.
It's the mothership for me.
It is the mothership.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Isn't it
I mean,
gorgeous?
oh, it was incredible.
It's a
Absolutely
beautiful
incredible.
space. Back in 2017, I think it was, I was fortunate enough. I was like one of 7 women in Touchstone to earn a all expense paid trip to Wattens, Austria, to our mothership. And seeing it and experiencing it was just unbelievable. It is gorgeous. And
Oh, it's
those
incredible.
crystal clouds surrounding the space.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
it was awesome. And, like my mom doesn't have enough jewelry, right? But while I was there, I bought her from the mothership. I'm like, you don't understand. These are, because she opened up, oh, pretty, they're Swarovski. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. These are like legit
Yeah.
from Austria,
Yeah.
the original Swarovski. And so she got really excited about
Oh,
it.
that's wonderful. Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. There's nothing more sparklier than Swarovski crystal. And,
Oh my
quite
gosh,
honestly,
really?
I mean, jewelry always fits. Every woman loves to have a little extra sparkle.
You gotta have your ice on your
Gotta have
wrist.
the ice.
Always got her ice on her wrist.
I think
Like,
that's how you know you've done such a good job at creating a personal brand is that when people go out in the real world
yes.
and they
I
think of you when they
know.
see something,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that is how you, and I love, like, people will text me, "Hey, Britt, I saw this and I thought of you." And I'm honored. I'm like, yes,
Yes,
that
right?
means that people are capturing the
Yes.
essence. And I think we said this earlier on this episode. We were talking about how a brand is really a feeling that you invoke
Yeah.
within people. So for folks who are listening to this and they're asking themselves, like, what is my brand? Ask yourself, how do you make people feel? That's the best place to start with your brand is how
Mhm.
do you make people feel currently?
Yeah.
And then if you feel like you're not invoking that feeling, what can you do to make a change
Yeah.
to then
Mhm.
invoke that feeling? Like, what can you add to your repertoire, add to the way you speak, add to the way
Mhm.
you dress and carry yourself,
Yeah,
because it's all about that feeling.
And how do
absolutely.
people think of you? Like when we think of Renee, everybody knows Renee, and everybody knows Renee is the Sparkle Queen. Like legit, everybody knows her as the Sparkle Queen. And that's the brand that you've created. And that's a huge success because when somebody thinks of anything sparkly, I mean, this isn't a Swarovski, but it's sparkly. And I think of you when I wear something sparkly. Oh, it's, sparkly Renee. I mean, that's
Thank you.
truly building a brand that has been hugely successful for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm thank you. I get really excited. I just love what I do.
Is
What do
there a
you
story? Oh, go ahead, Melissa.
I was probably gonna ask the same type of question, but when someone comes to you and they're, I am 50 years old, I'm 60 years old, and I don't think I have anything to offer. How do you coach them and get them to feel empowered that you have something to offer at any age?
Oh, well, that's a good question because everybody has something to offer and everybody has experience. So it's like, what do people come to you for advice on? That would be a great place to start because we always have people in our lives that come to us and ask us questions about a particular subject. So if that's something that you're passionate about, okay, so how can we monetize that? So that you can make an extra income, whether it's a digital product, whether it's growing on social, whatever it's networking. There's a way to make money based on what somebody is passionate about and what they know in their life experience. So we
Hmm.
dive into that and then we ask those questions about branding. How do you make people feel? What are 3 words? And I challenge my clients and my team to post on their social and ask their followers if you can describe me. What 3 words would you use to describe me?
Hmm.
And
That's awesome.
that's an answer right there.
Yeah.
You're going to get a ton of feedback for free. That's your focus group. Utilize that. It is free, right? And in the
Mhm.
world that we're living in, I mean, back in the day, people had to take out ads in newspapers and magazines. That's fallen at the wayside. Anybody can
Mhm.
go on social media for free right now and
Mhm.
sell whatever it is that they're passionate about.
Yeah.
So I help them figure that out and what they want to present to the world. How do they want other people to feel? And then we figure out a way of branding themselves and building it.
Love that.
Sometimes Melissa and I get clients, and I don't know if you get this question, Melissa, but I certainly do. And they'll say, "Okay, so part of this whole Browning Associates process is like branding. Like what even is that? And it's so funny because we are making a shift into what branding really means, and we're getting closer and closer as a society where branding truly is at the individual level. Like you were saying, Renee, you're not the company you work for, you are you, and you represent a multitude of things. And I think a lot of people are still stuck in branding is what you see on the box of Fruit Loops. It's the toucan on the
Mm.
box of Fruit Loops, but it's really about, you got to think about the box of Fruit Loops. You got the toucan and you got all the colors. Why? Because it's trying to invoke a feeling for children to be attracted to it. So it's always getting down to the bottom of the why. And branding really is about how you make people feel. So awesome. I love, like I said, I love seeing your posts. Can you share a story with us, possibly, about someone you've coached or someone you've worked with that you've seen like a full transformation of going from A to Z?
Oh my gosh, it happens all the time. So, and women, because I particularly work with women over 40, and I see it all the time, whether it's through my network marketing businesses with Touch of Crystal, Bella Grace, or with clients, but they're little successes. And then they don't even recognize it as a success because they're oftentimes so focused on like the big picture success. So they can start out having no experience whatsoever and then working together, developing. A lot of it has to do with their self confidence, right? So it all comes
Mm.
down to, it starts with mindset. So that
Yeah.
is a part of any personal brand or building any business or any network. It's about mindset. So we cover all of that. And then seeing their, it's like, just like having a children and watching them grow. It's, you see these seeds and then they're watering the seeds and then they're building, the plants and the flowers are blooming, and then all of a sudden they have this entire garden. So seeing those women go from nothing, no experience, I have no idea what I'm doing, to selling their first piece, whether it's, any of the products, or showing up online. That's a big thing too. A lot of people are very hesitant with showing up online and pressing that live button or, but that's a big part of networking as well. But when they contact me after they're done, whether it's a text or a call, and they're like, I did it. And I'm like, you did it. Like, congratulations. This is your first step into the world. And then when you see them fly and they go, the best success I feel is when they say, I'm good. Thank you for everything. And now they're ready to fly.
Mm-hmm.
So the less they need me, the more I feel like
Yes.
I did well.
Yes.
It's really, I can't pinpoint one person because there's been so many. Those are the things that make me feel excited because I know I made a difference in somebody's life.
Mm-hmm. So Swarovski isn't really the only company that you're working with. You're working with another company
Right.
called Bella Grace. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting or looking for, another network marketing company. But as I, look on, as I see people posting online, there's people that we respect in every industry. And there were people that I respect in the industry that were sharing this product, this collagen elixir was like the secret thing. And they did a really great job because it got me intrigued. And I had taken collagen powder for years, mix it in my coffee, didn't know or felt any difference. I was just doing it because I knew I needed to, and I knew I needed collagen. But I'm not a health and wellness guru. That's not my space of expertise, right? But I knew I wanted to look good and feel good as I age. Then I started like, okay, well, let me check this out. So I said, well, let me try it. So I literally was like, I'm going to try. It's a little collagen elixir packet, one a day. Let me see if I notice a difference. Started noticing my gut health was better. Like I said, I'm 55, hair, skin, nails. We know we start losing collagen at the age of 25. So everybody needs collagen, whether you're male or female. But I never noticed a difference until I started using this. So that
Mm-hmm.
intrigued me. Like, a lot of people are doing Amazon affiliates or affiliates with other companies. So I was like, well, other people need to know about this. And then I decided to dive right in. And now I'm building a business and I help other people build, learn about Bella Grace, learn about the collagen, the skincare. It's been incredible. It's, the science behind this is unbelievable. It turns off the gene marker for inflammation, turns on the gene marker for collagen production. I work out recovery for those that work out. I don't. workout.
That's me.
But okay.
I do, but softly. I do Pilates now, which is I can't
Great.
do all of those heavy weights and everything. I was damaging myself.
Oh,
Yeah, I just Pilates is my thing now.
I love Pilates too. Have you tried the hero board, Melissa? I just did a hero board class Wednesday morning at 6 a.m.
So maybe I don't know what the hero board is, but I might.
I'm so sore, and I lift weights. I have a trainer for weights, and then I also do cycling, and then I also do Pilates. And they I just learned about this hero board thing, so I
What does
decided
it
to
look
take a
like?
class.
What does it look like?
It's almost it almost is. Remember those scooters you would ride in gym class in elementary school? They're like square, and they have four wheels on either side.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very small piece of equipment, but you can do an array of things with it. Yeah, so it's just square with wheels,
Oh,
like a
I haven't
scooter,
used that. I've used the
almost like a skateboard.
reformer
wow.
and just the reformer, and then they have the chair with the pedal and then the backboard with all the
Wow.
TRX stuff.
I need that for. I'm gonna look into that because I definitely need some stuff for recovery.
It really has been it's been unbelievable for so many. So that's why I scream it from the rooftop. I started, my hair was thinning. Again, menopause. I know we spoke about it. Like
About it
my
all the time.
hair was thinning, and my hair is growing. It's one of the downsides is that my grays are coming in sooner.
Right, 'cause
But
it's
my
growing.
hairdresser loves me because I'm going in more often. But my hair is thicker. I have baby hairs growing in. Like it's been wonderful for me. So I share it with everyone, and I'm happy to share the science behind it. But I just
Will we be able to link that product in the description
yeah,
below for our
absolutely.
listeners if they're okay?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yep. And it's part of my my website too. And I share everything
Okay.
on there for
So
sure.
tell
So
us about your website, how people can find out about you, your coaching, all the products. We want to make sure that people can get in touch with
oh,
you.
thank you. So they can just go to reneecarbonefleming.com and then they can see everything that I do. But they can contact me. I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone that's looking to learn more about any of the facets of my business. I know I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and sometimes some people are like, you look like you have squirrel disease. I'm like, no, I just have so many passions that, I can help other women. So
I love it.
yeah,
Well,
thank you.
it's always a pleasure to talk with you. I'm so glad you were able to come on. I think everything that you talk about is so relevant for women, for our clients. It's just having that passion and following through. And I love that book. I'm going to make sure
Yes.
that we order it. And right after I'm going to be on Amazon ordering it because I really do feel like that's something that everybody can, no matter how long you've been coaching, no matter
Absolutely.
how long you've been in a business. I feel like that's something that you're constantly learning
Yes.
and need reminders.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's a great book. I'm happy to recommend it. I
Awesome.
appreciate you ladies having me on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll see
Thank
you
you.
next time on the Job Chicks.
Bye, y'all.